We had a cleaning lady. We had an ironing lady. We had a guy who cleaned the pool.
Stop. You had a lady that just did the ironing?
Yeah, we had all kinds of shoes. Everybody, welcome back to Louder Than Ever. I'm Mary.
I'm Hailey.
And we are two Gemini Ravenclaws who are both the oldest child and have literally nothing else in common.
None.
We were both born first you didn't really finish, into rather privileged families.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We were both born first. We are both winners. Winners at life.
We are.
Mario loves to hold that over Puff. Like, loves.
Oh.
He is not even a whole year older.
No.
Than Puff, but he really likes to hold it over his head. And then Puff's just like, whatever. I'm bigger than you anyway.
Ooh.
Which is true. He is taller and weighs more.
Well, yeah.
But that's just their builds.
Yeah. It's still Mario's duty as the eldest.
Yes.
To hold that over.
He should. He really should. I always did. And I was only 14 months older than my closest sibling. So
I had almost exactly 3 years of a perfect life.
Yeah, right before it was destroyed. Right before it was destroyed by the arrival of a sibling. But anyway, today we're going to talk about all the things that we didn't know were things because we were raised in privileged families. It turns out there's a lot of things that like the average person does that I did not know about.
Nope,
sure didn't. Didn't know you could change your own tire. Thought you had to call AAA or someone else for that. Did not know you could do it yourself.
No.
Still can't, by the way. Still can't change tire. Don't want to learn. Don't care. Don't want to have AAA.
No.
But I didn't even know it was possible for you to do it yourself for many years.
Okay, I knew it was possible.
I didn't. I had never seen anyone do it. I had never heard any reference of anyone doing it. Every time that a spare was applied to one of our vehicles, it was done by someone else. I did not know it was a thing.
See, I grew up... My dad, Sneezy.
Hey, Sneezy.
Is of the opinion, and my mom gives him shit for this all the time, that you can pay somebody to do something. And also, you shouldn't, pay your friends. Hire someone else. Don't get, your friends or your family involved.
No, use a professional.
Right.
Yes.
Well, but also because I think he thinks it's, awkward to give money to people that he knows.
Yeah,
even if they're doing a service.
I can see that, except I pay you to do my hair, since the beginning of our friendship. Not awkward at all.
No, it's not.
Except I don't tip you. That's kind of awkward. But I sometimes do. I used to. And sometimes I still do.
I miss those days. No. As she gazes off longingly into the distance.
Sometimes I still do, though. It's
you
true.
Tip me in things now.
I do. I tipped you in selfie sticks and t-shirts.
And t-shirts.
I'm probably due for another thing tip.
Probably.
She says with a piercing look in her eye, staring in my direction in a very uncomfortable manner.
I demand gifts.
Okay. I have another thing, actually, that just came into my mind. Something that was very traumatizing to me when I first found out.
Oh, no.
Apparently, people... And this, apparently, I say apparently, I know they do now, but I didn't know until my friend's minivan disappeared one day that people lease cars. I did not even understand this concept when she explained to me that they were only leasing their minivan and they gave it back at the end of the lease, and I was like, you did what? You gave back your car? You didn't... What do you mean you didn't... Someone else owns your car and you paid them money to use the car? It wasn't even your car? All these years you've been telling me it was your minivan.
I still feel like it's a really weird concept.
It is really weird. I don't like it, and yeah, I think it's really strange because you're not actually getting anything, and in the end, you have to pay the entire retail value for a car that you've now driven into, worthlessness.
Dumb.
So, yeah, I didn't know you could lease cars. I did not know that was a thing. My parents have always just bought their cars, and I remember just being like, where'd your minivan go? I thought someone had stolen it, and...
It's gone!
No, it took a long time for me to wrap my head around the whole leasing concept.
Wow.
Yeah.
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 See, a lot of the things that I didn't learn have to do with, like... Oh, the biggest thing that I didn't learn, and I really wish that my parents had taught me this because they're really good at it.
Oh, yeah?
And I am not, is managing money.
Oh.
My parents really excel at this, or at least one of them does, because they're great, and I'm not. So, like, guys, thank you for providing the life that we had, but, like, teach me your ways.
See, I have a similar problem in that I take after one of my parents when it comes to my money spending habits more than the other. And I never really learned about how to, like, budget or anything. No, because, you know, I got my allowance or whatever, but I never, like, needed money, really, or, like, wanted something and couldn't get it. I just, like, got catalogs and, like, circled things, and then they showed up, you know? And I didn't really think much more of it than that. Oh, Wheezy, I'm so sorry.
One thing you guys need to understand is that when we say we both grew up privileged, Mary was far more privileged than I was.
That's true.
I was privileged. Like, don't get me wrong, but, like, Mary wins.
Well, Wheezy's made a lot of good investments and has worked very hard. No, I mean, no, my mom did a really good job of spending all this money.
Oh, sure, yeah.
For an example, to show you just, like, how cavalier of an attitude that one of my parents had towards money, I won't say who. One of my parents got a brand new Mercedes in a light silver color.
Okay.
Okay,
nice.
It was great, right? Like, a year and a half later, decides that they actually want a Mercedes of a slightly darker version of the same color.
What?
Yes, a slightly darker version of the same color.
Okay.
And to do this, to return the car that they had driven for a year and then get another car was going to end up costing them $12,000 additional dollars.
What?
Right? Yes, that's how much the difference was. And
was it a new model year or?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a new model year.
So not exactly the same.
No, it was 1 year newer. 1 year
newer.
newer.
Still.
1 year newer. Slightly different color. Worth $12,000, according to one of my parents, who will remain nameless and genderless. But that's just to give you an idea
of how money was spent.
Of how money was spent around my house. I remember Christmas time, we had a large storage room, and I went down.
Is this where the drums were? No.
Yeah. No, this is in our new, more affluent house. When we lived in New Jersey, we actually lived in a house that was one of many in a development that all looked the same. I had a couple friends that had, like, the exact same house as us, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it was not a big deal. But when we moved to Minnesota, the same amount of wealth was considerably more, you know, we were in a really affluent area of New Jersey, so we were average, and then we came to a small town in Minnesota where we were far, far, far above average. Mm-hmm. In fact, my dad and mom bought the house of the guy who owned, like, all of the land in town. They went to him originally to talk to him about buying a plot of land to build a house on because he owned all of the land in town and, like, many of the businesses, and then ended up buying his house. So we moved into that house. It was a famous house in the nicest neighborhood in the entire town, and it was just on the lake, and the other side of the lake was just super crowded with tons of houses, and our side was, like, very quiet, not a lot of houses, spread far apart. We had 2 lots. It was a big deal. So,
well, damn.
Yeah. But, so it was kind of difficult going in, and I can't really remember what I was...
This is what you do.
Where I was going with it.
I don't know. See, I grew up in, like, one of those cookie cutter houses.
Oh, yes.
Where, like...
That's what it was. You were, yeah, but you were always in the cookie cutter. You never left and went to the biggest house in town like I did.
Right, no.
Okay,
no.
Yeah. So that was kind of what happened. And this was in the basement of our biggest house in town. Mm. And I went down and discovered that my mother was giving Christmas gifts to 86 people that year that were not family members. 86 non-family member gift recipients.
My mother would never do this.
Yeah, well, my mother did. She gave gifts to practically every business proprietor in town. In addition to, like, every person that worked in our house, of which there were many. There was a whole staff of people that worked at our house. Like...
Dude, you had a staff?
Well, they didn't. I don't know
We had a cleaning lady.
We had a cleaning lady. We had an ironing lady. We had a guy who cleaned the pool.
Stop. You had a lady that just did the ironing?
Yeah. I'm not making this up. I can't. I couldn't. I would make up something like
that.
I don't even iron my own clothes now.
I'm not looking at you as though you're making it up. I'm just like, fuck, why didn't I know you when I was a kid?
Dude, my house was tits. You would have had fun. We had a pool and a hot tub. We had an outdoor fireplace. We had a bonfire pit and an outdoor fireplace. And a boat and a dock. Yeah, we had all kinds of shoes.
All this to say, I wish I could manage money like my parents could. Or do, rather, actively manage their money. I have no money to manage.
It'd be nice. I will say that I definitely find that when I feel stressed or I feel unhappy, I want to go shopping. Yeah. That's a thing.
That's definitely a thing.
I've turned it into thrift stores because I can't afford the places I used to go. Mm-hmm. But stress shopping was definitely a therapy mechanism in my house and in many affluent homes, I imagine. Yeah. Throw money at it. Oh, you don't like that problem? If someone's having an issue, have a couple $100. Feel better yet?
Oh, man.
So that approach is something that I grew up with and maybe probably could have learned a little sooner that that's not always the answer.
Sure.
I do have another story.
Of course you do.
No, you know this story. I've already told you this story about the tabs.
The tabs?
The tabs for your car.
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
In Minnesota and probably everywhere, I imagine. I don't know.
I don't know.
You pay a tax and you get a sticker that you put on your license plate. Well, until I was about 25, I thought these just magically came in the mail. I did not know you had to pay for them. The first, I messaged my mom, and even after I moved out, she would still get the renewal notices, because I never changed my address on my car title. I was moving from apartment to apartment, and so she would get it, and then she would send the check in, I guess, unbeknownst to me. And then my stickers would come, and she would give me my stickers, and I'll never forget the first year that I was like, Mom, did my stickers come yet? And she was like, you're old enough to pay for your own tabs now. And I was like, what? Say what? Pay for them?
I have to pay for stickers?
I have to pay for stupid little numbered stickers on my license plate? I thought those were just, to make sure that I'm still, alive. I thought the state just, tracked my car that way, and every year was like, do you still live here? Great, here's some
your stickers.
I didn't realize that they were proof of payment of taxes on the vehicle.
I don't know when I realized that you have to pay for tabs. I don't have a memory of that. But I am awful at it.
Yeah.
And my dad, mind you, is he thinks he's the tab police.
Is he one of those ones that their tabs are expired?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but he can spot expired tabs from 4 blocks away. Wow. I mean, he could miss a bank robbery right in front of him.
But he would see that the car had...
Yes.
The getaway car had expired tabs.
The getaway car has expired tabs. And he would make a mental note and be like, I noticed that this car... But...
That's pretty
And funny. I don't know if it's some sort of internal act of rebellion. I should probably see a shrink about this or something.
Maybe, because you don't ever buy your tabs?
No, I do. But I push it.
You just wait a little bit, I can push it a month. Well, everyone knows that the month you're in they haven't expired,
right?
And the next month they're probably not going to pull you over for it,
right?
So
my tabs expire in October, and I always think to myself, you know what, Hailey, this is the year you're going to be a goddamn adult and pay for your tabs before you actually need them. Like, this is the year you're gonna do it.
Right.
And then I set the thing down, and I partially forget and partially don't care that I forgot. Until last year, I pushed it until February.
Whoa! That's a little much.
Before getting pulled over.
They pulled you over?
Yes, and this is when I learned that, at least in the state of Minnesota, if your tabs have been expired for more than 90 days, they have the right to impound your car.
Ew, awkward.
Luckily, I had
over
a very
$57.
nice... Right. I had a very nice officer who was very kind to me and my playing dumb.
I've done that so many times.
Oh,
Super guilty.
I'm real good at it. But anyway, he was very kind to me, let me go, and I immediately went home and got online and ordered my tabs because I'm like, okay, I can't push it after getting pulled over. Like, no. That's my cutoff.
There's a record. We told you.
Right.
We already warned you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this year, I pushed it to the beginning of January.
Nice job. Just testing it. Not as far as you did before.
No. Yeah.
And
again, in my defense, I legitimately forget.
Okay.
Until there's a cop behind me, and then, all of a sudden I remember, oh, shit, my tabs are expired. And, a lot of they don't.
Yeah, they don't really care.
No.
Well, if you pay attention, I've done this too, if you pay attention to driving around, you actually see a lot of people.
You do.
That don't pay for their tabs.
It's true.
Or that are expired. I mean, you see a lot.
My dad sees them.
Yeah.
Sneezy
knows. Sneezy sees you.
Anyway, so this year, January, I happened to be in Elk River, which is about an hour away from where I live.
Yeah.
And I was driving, wasn't thinking about my tabs until all of a sudden, lights on behind me. And I was like, okay. Great. So I pull over, I do my usual thing. I'm always very respectful with police officers because A, they're doing their job, and I legitimately did something wrong, and I knew it.
And B, they can hurt you. They have weapons.
That's true.
I mean,
too.
If you don't respect them, watch the Dave Chappelle video on how to not get arrested. That's a good one.
That is a good one. But also, I have manners. So, respectful with the police officer. I'm very sorry. I totally forgot, and I did. And I will go home, and I'll pay him right away. And he's like, okay, cool. You know what?
That's fine.
There's your warning. Yeah. Go home and pay it, and you'll be good. Okay. It's like, okay, cool. Thank you. I picked up the person who I had gone there to meet, and we were driving back to my house about an hour away. We didn't even get out of Elk River before I was pulled over second time. Literally within a half hour of the first one.
And you're second guy. I said I would go home and do it. Jesus.
But it was a different guy.
I know.
So literally, I rolled down my window and he came up and I didn't even let him say anything. I'm like, officer, I'm so sorry. Literally, it's been half an hour since the last guy told me and I just haven't gone home yet to be able to get online to pay it. I know, and I'm so sorry. He's like, when was this? And I was like, literally, sir, half an hour ago. I'm like, here's my license. I live an hour away. I have not had the time yet. And he's like, okay. He's like, please just let me go.
Please, sir. Mea culpa, mea culpa.
So he also let me go.
Good.
And I did go home, and I did pay for my tabs. They're still not on my car, but they are in my car.
You can point to them.
And Sneezy is immediately going to inspect my vehicle the next time I see him.
That you've applied the tabs.
Yep, I probably haven't.
She should have by now. Sneezy, I agree.
They're in the car.
Okay. I was trying to think of another thing that
that you haven't learned?
That I haven't learned from growing up privileged. And
cleaning an oven. Just gonna slip that in there. Don't know
cleaning
how to do it.
anything. Like I
yeah.
said, I mean, I said we had cleaning ladies, and literally, I would complain to my mother about having to tidy my room so the cleaning lady could come.
Yes.
I have not heard of any bigger first world problem in my life.
No.
Than having to clean your room so the cleaning lady can clean your room.
But I hated it.
I did too. I really had a strong aversion, and would get upset about it.
Yeah.
and be a total brat to my parents about cleaning my room so the cleaning lady could clean my room.
Yep. I had a silent war waging with our cleaning lady, Lisa. I still remember her. Mostly because I hated that I had to clean just for her to come and clean, because that's who I was.
So stupid. It
Right.
makes no sense.
Like, ugh.
You're the cleaning lady. Clean my room.
Right.
Yes.
But also, one of the first times she came, because my idea of cleaning my room was like, screw you, lady, I'm just going to shove all this shit under the bed and then pull it back out when you're done cleaning, apparently. So, oh my God, I was such a brat.
Oh my gosh, I was too.
She was vacuuming, and like the cord was probably sticking out or something, but she vacuumed up my headphones. Like, I was a teenager, my headphones were life! And she killed them! So Lisa and I were silently at war. Forever.
Cleaning ladies, I think, are a thing that you don't realize are a luxury you're not going to be able to afford.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't anticipate having to do my own cleaning.
No.
Didn't think that would be a thing as an adult.
Lisa, you are now 100% welcome in my home.
Right, please, Lisa, come back. You can clean
Please,
my house
Lisa.
too.
I promise I will pre-clean for you, I promise.
I'm literally trying to raise my children to be my cleaners.
Yes.
Because I'm tired of cleaning. They have a chore list that includes cleaning our bathroom that they don't even use, and I shamelessly exploit them. But I give them $2 a week if they do all their chores without me reminding them.
That's a good deal.
It hasn't happened yet.
Oh, well,
Well,
even better.
it needs to not be reminding them, which I don't really mind doing because then they clean my bathroom.
Is it bad that I often entertain the idea of adopting children just so I have somebody else to help me clean my house?
Well,
Because I have no interest in, like, cohabitating with another adult.
children would be nice, though. Children are better roommates than
Yeah, I
other
want,
adults.
like an 11-year-old.
Well, I take that back. Young children are terrible roommates.
Yeah, no, I don't want a young child where I'm gonna have to be cleaning up after them all the time. I want like an 11-year-old where they can like do their own stuff.
Is it a coincidence that that's like older than both of my children? Like because they don't take care of their own stuff, and you're thinking
no,
like add a couple
like
years?
right in between, like 8 to like 13.
Yeah, but
I think is the good range.
Yeah, and then it turns into a teenager and makes
Yeah,
your life
but-
living hell.
Okay, so I want them at like 9 or 10 then. That way I've got a couple of years before they're a teenager and I can still kind of mold them to maybe have some kind of respect.
Good plan.
Okay.
Good plan.
But
Okay.
really I just want help cleaning.
Well, don't we all?
Ah!
What?
In my mom's defense, like, she really did try and instill, like, some of these things in us. Some of them were a little too late. Like, she didn't start talking to us about budgeting until we were adults. And
Yeah,
then
a
it was,
little
like,
late for that.
too late.
You
But-
didn't teach me that with my allowance. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
we didn't even get an allowance. Like, that's the thing. Is
They
like,
just bought everything for you. And so
well,
you never...
that, or, like, if we ever wanted to get something for ourselves, I mean, we just said, like, hey, can I have
Can
40
I have
bucks?
money to buy?
And it was either yes or no. But,
Oh.
yeah, we didn't have, like, set chores.
You didn't have to earn any.
No. So it was just basically, like, she would decide, like, okay, it's Saturday and I have to clean the house, then I have you two, so I'm going to make you do these things. And she tried to kind of instill this in us, but it never really
didn't
caught
really
on
stick.
because at that point it was just like a punishment.
Yeah,
Like,
and you're
why
just
are you-
resentful, like this mean lady's
Right.
making me clean my room.
Right. So I probably should have paid more attention to you, Mom. Sorry.
Good
But
call.
yeah, now I suck at cleaning.
That's recorded. That's on record
It is.
forever.
Yeah, she's gonna like play that on a loop.
Right? Like, I should have listened to you more, Mom. I'm sorry.
She's gonna cut that down and like, play it to like relax her every night before she goes to bed. Like, you were right, Mom. You were right, Mom. You were right, Mom. You're welcome.
I have one final thing to point out.
Okay.
Okay. Because I started getting my hair colored at like 13 years old.
Me too.
And I thought it was just something that like you had to do. That like everybody did this.
Yeah.
And you had to do it. You had no choice but to spend a lot of time and money coloring your hair.
Get highlights.
You had to.
So many highlights.
And then I loved how it looked, and I was like, oh my gosh, no wonder you have to do this.
Everybody must do this.
Everybody must do this because it looks so much better. it wasn't for a long time until I realized that's actually a luxury.
Yep.
And it's not something that necessarily merits getting added into your budget if it's tight.
No.
So, brutal awakening hair coloring isn't like something that everyone has to do. It's not a necessity.
It's true.
It's just a luxury.
That's why you have me.
That's true, because I still couldn't afford it if it wasn't for you. I'd still be walking around with my mousy, brownie, blondie, weird color. It's not brown or blonde. It's like this dishwater blonde is what my mother always called it. And I thought that was so rude at the time, but now I realize it's really just accurate.
Yes.
I
am your own luxury.
Yeah, you are. You are a luxury bringer. You are a bringer of all things luxurious.
Yay!
The spa, vacations. Vacations are a luxury. Did you know that? I didn't realize that either. Most people don't necessarily go on a, like, big vacation every year. We did. We always got on planes. Tuna hadn't even been on a plane until I met him.
Wow, really?
Yeah, really.
Dang.
Some people never leave their home state. I did not think that was a thing.
We didn't take vacations as often as you did, but we did take some vacations.
We took all kinds of vacations, and it was never to the same spot. My father had high contempt for the people that would take vacations to the same place every year. How is that a vacation?
I don't know.
It's not. If you go to the same place every year, it's not really a vacation, is it?
My parents like it. They go to Vegas like a bajillion times a year.
I guess.
So much so that they purchased a home there.
Well, and I'm very glad you did, because I had quite an enjoyable stay.
Yes, we should go back.
Yes, we should. Thanks for the invite. We're going to Vegas! Yeah!
Louder Than Ever presents. We're going to Vegas!
Yes!
Sometime later when we can afford it because we're no longer privileged. On that note,
we need to get rich, so if you could like us and subscribe and rate and review.
Please, share us with your friends. Why don't you like your friends enough to share us? Do them the favor.
Right? They would just really appreciate it.
Yeah.
They're going to get a lot of joy and excitement. Then they're going to thank you for sharing this amazing podcast with them.
Right.
And you're going to be the hero.
True.
Be the hero.
Be the hero.
Share the podcast.
Share the podcast. I'm just repeating you at this point.
That's because I have such an authoritative presence.
Sure.
Because of my upbringing of luxury and entitlement.
Wow.
I command the room.
Oh my goodness.
Like us, subscribe, tweet us, whatever. Please ask for some advice. It's been so long since prostitution mini sessions.
Really has, though. Yeah.
It really has, though.
Ask Mary some frickin' questions.
I'm about to fabricate a letter, okay? Like, it's getting that desperate. So if you could just ask for something, anything.
You can also tweet questions and stuff to us at...
Our highly underappreciated Twitter.
Yeah. Guys, our Twitter is, like, banging, and you're missing it.
I sometimes give suggestions. I don't actually do the tweeting, but I'm like, hey, you should tweet this.
Sometimes you do. Just like I sometimes post something on Instagram.
Right? Just randomly, it's like, oh.
But mostly that's you. And mostly Twitter's me.
Mostly.
But you can still tweet questions to Mary, and I'll share them.
Please. She'll tell me.
LTE Podcast.
Or
also
louderthaneverpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes. All those things.
And at LTE Podcast is our handle on Instagram. And
handle?
Isn't that what you call it?
No, it's
handle?
a username.
No, I think you can call it a handle. I think that's a thing. God, I have to pee.
Yeah, in 1994.
Shut up! You know what? I was 10 in 1994, the same age. There, I'm sure.
Bye! You gotta pee.
I gotta pee and I gotta get
Tuna and I were like, she's gonna get up to pee every 4 minutes because she drank and then she went to the bathroom before we ever recorded. So I'm actually kind of proud of you.
Thank you. I did think I went upstairs, though.
Bye.
Bye.
Presidents are temporary. Wu-Tang is forever.